Well, hello, Joel and Luke. I'm Stephanie from Radio Maria, England. It's lovely to have you in the UK. Congratulations on the fruitfulness of Unsung Hero and the success so far. Wonderful film, absolutely brilliant testimony of your family. And one of the things when I was watching it, I really found that the foundation obviously was family and faith, and the foundations on God and God's promises. So can you tell me a little bit about how that played into the actual filmmaking? How did you, standing on the promises of God, come to be in the filmmaking?
It was really interesting, both of us being part of crafting the story. It was Luke's brainchild to actually put pen to paper on the script. He called a producer in 2020 in Hollywood and said, what about, putting this into development? And we did just that. And then when Richard Ramsey, who I co-wrote it with, got really under the hood of the story, we had this funny thing happen where there were so many miracles that literally took place in our family's life during that period that we actually had to start lifting some of them out of the story, because in real life it's just miraculous, but in filmmaking it can read just like bad screenwriting. And so ironically, things like checks that came in the mail to cover our bills by dollars, or these sort of miraculous interventions, we had to sort of scale them back, but at the same time feel like what's represented in the film is beautiful because it depicts the local community and the local church really being the miracle, like people being the miracle.
Yeah.
And that was a really profound, part of our journey coming to the States. Even as kids, it just felt like an adventure. But we're really proud to be able to represent that, because even in 2024, it feels like there's something about the community, the local community, focusing on that and the power of the local community that is exciting to share through the film.
Exactly, and leading by faith and not by sight, really, as stepping out. Your family demonstrated that beautifully. And also, obviously, there's certain subjects that came to light, and you played your father, which was a lot of emotion and a lot of grief and a lot of trials and tribulations that the family had to go to together. So when you were, as an actor, when you were creating that part, obviously you remember it as a child, but did you approach your father? Did you speak to your father about it? How did you go about approaching that? Because some of those moments in that film just made me well up.
We sent, our parents are both still living.
Yeah.
So we were very reverent in wanting to make sure that we invited them into the conversation almost at every point. So when we'd gotten the script pretty close, we sent it to Mum and Dad, and we thought, Mum said they'd read it, but we found out probably a month ago that Dad never read the script.
No.
I think he was worried that he'd sort of tamper with it too much. And so then they watched the film when we'd edited it, and had, asked them if they had any comments. And they were very, I think they felt very honored by it. But there's a difference between it being a glory project and an honor project. As you mentioned, Dad was walking through a lot. Luke and I were so young at the time, we just approached it like an adventure, but there was something about flipping it.
Yes.
And dropping into, now as men, as husbands, and Luke as a father, dropping into his story as adults. I'm his age when he walked through a lot of this.
Yeah.
That really changed the way that I saw him and saw the story. It was a great adventure, but it was also his pride and his insecurity. There were so many other layers that he was walking through.
Yeah, and you played it beautifully in the way you produced it, put it together. So now, obviously, with the success of Unsung Hero here in the UK, what other stories are you thinking about maybe developing later?
Well, we've got several ideas in the can in some cases, or at least developing, and I don't know if the moment is right to share it, but it's one of the, I think our hope is if we could make Unsung Hero. I think one of the great gifts was I never thought that we'd be able to make a film successful enough that even get the privilege to be able to have it released in the UK. In the States, you have 14, 15, 16 theaters, and so it can house a lot more, in some cases, theaters. Well, you go to Australia, sometimes those theaters have 4 screens, and so for us to be able to have this film, be able to come to the UK, to be able to have it, to have an international release, means that I think some of these themes have connected with people, and our hope is that we could make this film successful enough to be able to do more. But when it comes time for us to kind of explore more as to what those stories and those ideas are, we'll make sure we'll personally call you up and say,
yeah.
we've got it.
Thank you.
Stephanie, this is what's happening next.
In God's beautiful timing.
That's right.
Because thank you very much, Joel and Luke, for speaking with me,
appreciate
and
it.
God bless you and the
You
rest
as
of the project and the team.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have a dream, Mum?
My dream has always been to have a great big family.
So you've already got your dream then?
We lost a lot of money.
This is everything we have. We need to pray.
Want us to help you?
These last 2 months, I've just seen miracles.
Look around you. Your faith, your family, that's what makes you rich in life.
Unsung Hero, rated PG.